and the magical performer, Joe Fury. And today, we are going to present to you The Daily Show, Lunch Therapy. Come on inside and join us in the fun. Someone yell, cut. Cut! Cut! Hello and welcome to Lunch Therapy. This is the last day of our 100 episode celebration week, and so glad to be here. I need some breathing today, I'll tell you. Face erase. Good to see you, Ganell. Let's get into the show because there's a hell of a lot of stuff to look at here and a lot of things that we're going to talk about. So, ladies and gentlemen, Lunch Therapy.
I don't wanna make my bed. I don't wanna get a job. I just wanna live with my parents. I just wanna live with my parents.
Today is the ultimate in hot summer California days. And up in my left, your right, I have a hummingbird that was given to me by Mary Marks. She was cleaning out her mom's house. Her mom passed away, and she was cleaning out her house, and yes, what did she find? A hummingbird. So, of course, for those of you that may not know, we are the cult of the hummingbird. So this was kind of a sign, I think. So she dropped that off at my house, and now we have it. That is our mascot, the hummingbird. This green glass, Murano glass, I believe. Anyway, so it's time to do some breathing. I have a nice winter day behind me, because I need to cool off. So anyway, let's take in a deep breath. In through the nose, out through the toes. Take it in all the way into your lungs. Mary's mom is with us. That is the sign. Let it out. Let it out through your toes. Deflate. Inflate. Hold it. There's Mary. She's here. Let it out. Mary, I hope you're doing all right. I hope you're doing well. Things are kind of up in the air lately. Lunch Therapy is a place where we decompress a little bit. It's a no COVID zone, no politics zone, place where we can all convene, be together, breathe, have some fun. Fun is the ultimate objective here. In through the nose, out through the toes. Say hi to your mom, Mary. Mary's in her house, in her mom's house. Let it go. Shaking it out, shaking it out. All right, well, we have another hummingbird situation here. My friend Tim Day sent us a hummingbird in a sprinkler because it's so hot up in Seattle, apparently, even, that the hummingbirds are taking a shower in the sprinkler. You're going to hear some humans, too, because the humans are always a human with a small human as well. Human. There it is. I didn't know hummingbirds were big sprinkler fans, but apparently they are. Let me play this a little longer here. You can see, I don't know if you guys can see this. Maybe if you're on your phone or something, you won't be able to see it, but there's a hummingbird just doing some sprinklering. Cult of the Hummingbird. Yes, this is a cult. Okay, so today I thought maybe we needed to be particularly calm because there's just a lot of confusion out there and a lot of crap that's going on in the world. So I've got a couple of calming things here in the beginning. And one is this sea otter and pups. I mean, if that doesn't help you, I don't know what else we could do on this show. Yeah, this is something that was on LinkedIn. Very necessary. And then I also have this, which is a video about the making of candy canes. The other way, yeah, isn't that otter is so cute? Is stuff happening in the world? I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell. Loud. Yeah. Okay, so if you ever wondered how candy canes are made, now you're gonna find out, and it's not what you think. I figured, they would take something and they'd put it in like a mold, and just put a bunch of sugar in a mold, and then they'd pop out these candy canes, and maybe they'd paint the stripes on them with some kind of food coloring. But it turns out it's not the case. It is a very, very elaborate process that I had no idea. So that's all the sugar, and they have to they have a machine that massages it. It is a sugar glob massaging machine. How much do those cost? Those have got to be expensive and hard to find. Like I couldn't find one on Amazon. I don't know. Jay Gaffney really never cared about how candy canes were made until now. I think it says until now. Yeah, until now. Never cared. But where do you see this? It gets crazier. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. Wait, it's like taffy now. They massaged it so much, it's like this big taffy glob, and it looks like something maybe you put on your bed or something, like a big sheet. I mean, this is pretty. Come on, Jay. This is pretty cool. If ever there was anything cool, that's this. Even less now. Look at that, though, Jay. Then there's a red one. And then what do you think they do with it? They kind of braid it, probably. That's what I would think. I mean, you never thought so much craftsmanship went into these candy canes. I always took them for granted. So they make the giant thing. Two guys have to carry it over to I don't know what that is. The candy cane roller. The music is cool. Yeah, I got this music particularly for this video. Greg is into knowledge. I've always wanted to know how candy canes are made. Now even more so. This is it. This is how they're made. It seems like it's made up, right? It seems like somebody has to be lying to us. That's the deal with hot dogs. Well, Jay, you said it, so we might have to get to that too. We might. Sue's here. There used to be a candy factory tour you could take in Woodinville, Washington. Super interesting. I just want to point it out. This is the type of video one would see on Mr. Rogers. I am a bit, years ago, Sue said to me that I should do a show like Mr. Rogers. And I guess it's her dream has been realized. You're welcome, Sue. Here it is. So some people appreciate this stuff. Greg is like the Bizarro Jay. They're like opposites. Okay, and then they actually bend them, if you can imagine. So there you go. That's candy canes for you, Jay. You're welcome, Jay. You're welcome, all those people out in the Twitch room. We have a lot of Twitchers out there. Say something. Heck, get in here. Jay says, I thought candy canes were made by Santa's elves. Great, my world is now shattered. Yeah, for all you kids out there. No, they deliver them to Santa after. See, Sue likes it because I fulfilled our mutual dream of having a show like Mr. Rogers. I kind of liken this show to JP Patches or perhaps Kukla, Fran, and Ollie, as we've said. And Mr. Rogers, of course, that would be an honor. As you know, yeah, the Twitchers are quiet, but there's a ton of them, huh? So the multicolored ones must even be more work. Yeah, there are all kinds of colors of these things. Do you think every time they make one of those big taffy babies that take 2 guys to carry over? I mean, it's the size of a seal. I wonder how many candy cans they could make out of that thing. Probably like 1 million. Speaking of 1 million, and speaking of making things, I want to remind you that I'm still playing the cookie clicking game, and this is a game that's on the web, and it is just a website where there's a picture of a cookie and you click on it and you see how many times you can click on it, and you get rewards, not monetary rewards, just sort of imaginary rewards. And so I've got a bot that's clicking on the cookie, and we can monitor it here. So I'm just going to check really quickly. Don't those Twitchers know who I am? That's one of the things that's just annoying about people sometimes when they say that. Don't you know who I am? I don't know if those Twitchers know. But anyway, let's check on the cookies. Now, one of the things that Cade said to me later on was that he thought it was pretty cool. It was pretty ingenious, I think. Maybe genius. And that's another thing that I do want to address. Look, we're up to 418,000 cookies. I don't know. We're getting somewhere. Did you finish the Popcorn Garage? So, there's another thing that I'm going to tell you here. I'm going to go back to my snow land. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time, I am going to be on Twitch and Facebook and probably YouTube, similar to this. But I'm just going to be playing the game Popcorn Garage, which is a website game where there's a garage. Some of you know this already, but there's a garage and there's all these different objects in there from movies, and you have to guess what the movies are. And there's about 66 of them, and there's one that I'm pretty sure I don't know. I've gotten up to 40, I think. It's a lot of cookies. Do you get money for them? I hope not, because then it would probably be illegal that I made that bot. Or I don't know. It's my computer, right? It's kind of early. I know 10 o'clock is kind of early. But if you can come. YouTube audio is out of sync. I don't know what I can do about that. Switch over to Twitch. There's a whole group in there. So, yeah, we're going to be playing Popcorn Garage. And if you can help me out, I would hugely appreciate it. There is a gnome in the garage that we still have not figured out. I don't know. Did we figure it out? We thought The Hangover, we thought Gran Torino, we thought the movie Gnomes, which I don't think so because it looks like an actual, garden gnome, not like an animated one. All right, so now we're going to move on. We have a commercial from Joe Fury, our sponsor, Crepe Erase. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to the product, Crepe Erase. It's a beautiful product that you can put all over your face, and it makes your face completely transparent. It's better than cover-up. It actually makes your skin
Crap, that's some crepe in your skin.
Crepe Erase. Crepe Erase.
Crepey skin.
It's a beautiful product. I'm Joe Fury for Crepe Erase. Yeah, maybe, Ganel. So Amelie. Laura thinks it's Amelie. I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in a long time, and somebody else I think said that too. So I might try it. But okay, so we get 3 strikes, and then it's over, and then we can't play anymore. And I'm going to give it 1 try because it takes a while. It's like 66 or something. I don't know. So Now we're to the stand-up comedy portion of the show. This is the part where I do some improv stand-up comedy, and we try and find the funny. Because this is the 104th episode of the show, I'm starting to look at, like, how can I make the show better? Every day I try, like, I want to make the show 1% better at least. And so looking forward to the future, one of the things that I'm doing with the show, Porkies, I don't think they had garden gnomes then. So one of the things that I'm doing is, when I set out to do the show, I had two intentions. One intention was to give people a smile during the day, just make everybody feel a little bit better, because I knew we were heading into something. I had this idea that we were heading into something that might be a long process and painful and emotionally disturbing and all this stuff. So I thought, let's have just a time during the day where we could all get together and just talk about Jared Leto or something. Hey, sexy Joel Marshall, why do you look so much like Jared Leto? That was great timing, you know? So that we're achieving that objective, I think. Another objective of mine was that I was doing stand-up comedy all over town, and I needed to continue stand-up comedy and continue my creative flow. The name of the comedy club is the Hummingbirds, the Hummingbird Club. I need to get one of those things on the wall. It says, "Welcome to the Hummingbirds." Or lunch therapy. Lunch therapy would be good. Laughs. Chuckle L's. Yeah, if there's any more suggestions for the name of the comedy club, I'm going to put it on the wall. We'll see what we can come up with. Keep them coming. I'm going to put the chat widget up while I talk about this for a minute, because I got a few things that I wanted to talk about. So one of the things was to keep my creative flow going. And it's challenging, because every day, I'm challenged to come up with something for the show. And you can't just do stand-up routines, because one thing about being a comedian is comedians repeat themselves over and over and over and over and over again. They do their routines. They're called routines because they repeat them, and work on them, and they get funnier and funnier and funnier. On this show, I don't want to just be repeating my routine over and over and over again, which maybe I'll do at some point. But a lot of it is the explorational part of it, where you're just putting stuff out there, finding out what's funny. I like that we have a lot of suggestions for the comedy club. We've got to keep our branding. We got to keep in mind that we have to keep our branding so we don't confuse people too much. The old Yucks Factory, the Funny Bone Hummingbird Club, home of the cult of the hummingbird. I think it has to be hummingbird, because we already have it. It's already called lunch therapy, and then we have this other hummingbird thing, and somehow maybe it should be called the hummingbird sandwich. Lunch with the hummingbirds. Hummingbird therapy. Hummingword. The funny bone. Yeah, keep it on brand. Matt knows we got to keep it on brand. We can't confuse people too much. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about you guys. Oh, I said it. I'm trying to change my pattern to say y'all. Oh, well, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So what I want to talk to you today about is the creative, what's called the creative spark. And a lot of us, I find this when I talk to people, especially people that aren't in the entertainment industry, because if they're in the entertainment industry, this would be ridiculous. But I talk to a lot of people that aren't, and they say, I'm just not creative. And I want to tell you right now, that is bullshit. Everybody's creative. We tell ourselves things that are not helpful. We tell ourselves things like, I'm not good at math, or I'll never get in shape, or, you know, these things that we tell ourselves. And the thing that I've learned over the years, when I was in Chicago, I was like an intern at Steppenwolf Theater, and there was this guy there, Gary Marshall, who was doing a play that he had written. And he, of course, is this extremely well-known director. I'm trying to find the picture. That's him. That was him back in the day. So, you know, he did all these shows that we grew up on, Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley and Mork and Mindy and movies like The Flamingo Kid and Pretty Woman. It just goes on and on and on and on. So I met this guy sort of early on in my career, and he said to me, Joel, you have to make it in Hollywood, you have to write your own stuff and attach yourself to it. Like if you're a director or an actor, you have to. Because that's how you'll get it. That's the only way you'll get anywhere. Mary says, everyone is creative unless they're destructive. That's a good point. I don't know if you can read the chats over there. So, but the thing, so I took that to heart, and I was like, I got to write my own stuff. I can't just wait for other people to do it for me. And that was, you know, one of the things that I've always, and it was a really good message to put in my head. But I could never figure out why a lot of times I would start things and then not finish them. Start screenplays, and this is a thing that a lot of people do in the creative world, is they start things and they don't finish it. And it's like, why does that happen? So we've been looking at programming that we have in our heads. I am getting to a point here, for sure. Hey, Pam. So one of the things is we got to get our head right. And that's the thing I've been talking about for the last like week and a half, is like looking at the programming that's in our heads and trying to figure out like, how can we reprogram it? Because that's one thing that we can do as humans, is we can take a look at how we're behaving. We're not just behaving like in response to things. We actually are behaving. We have some free will, I think. I believe this. Maybe Jay Gaffney doesn't believe it, but so this is what I've noticed. Is I've noticed that creative ideas are like a whisper. And they're not like a train that just takes off. It's like a whisper. It's like a tiny little whisper. And if you have a bunch of noise in your head, you never hear it. You never hear it. So the first thing is to kind of, that's why so many creative people and so many people out there in the world these days are meditating, because you want to be able to recognize these thoughts and not have thoughts, but just recognize what are the things that are killing the spark. And when I'm talking creativity, I'm talking about creativity in all areas. If you're making a PowerPoint presentation for your boss, or if you're trying to start a company, or if you're an entrepreneur, it's about this creative spark. And like, you have to look at like, how can you build this spark without it going out? And one of the things that makes that spark go out, I've noticed, are thoughts. And I liken it to, in Survivor, they have this thing. It's called a fire making challenge. You have to show up for it. Called a fire making challenge. So what happens is you get, you know, some kindling and some wood and brush or whatever, and a little flint thing to make sparks. And you have to make this fire, and you have to burn this string at the top. A lot of you Survivor fans have seen this. But the fact is, at first, when you start doing it, it's just little sparks. It doesn't even seem like it's going to be a fire. You just see the sparks, but you have to blow on it, and you have to nurture it, and you have to feed it. You can't feed it too much because it starts to go out. And you can't be looking at the person next to you and going, oh my God, look at that huge fire that they're doing. I can't, because it takes your focus off what you're doing. And this is the perfect metaphor for creativity, because you got to get out of the way. You got to get everything out of the way of that creativity. And there are a few things that I've realized. One is you get in your own way. That's the biggest one. You have an idea, and then you talk yourself out of it. And I think that's what Mel Robbins was talking about. We talked about her a little while ago. She's a motivational person who was having trouble getting out of bed, just even getting out of bed, because she was so depressed. And she came up with this thing just one day. She's like, okay, I'm just going to count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to get out of bed. And I'm not going to think about it. And a lot of times that's what we have to do with our creativity too, is we have to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm just going to do it. And I'm not going to judge the result, and I'm not going to have any expectation as to whether other people are going to like it or whatever. It's one of the reasons that I like doing this show in this way, aside from the fact that it's so communal. But I also like the idea that it's just live and we're just, kind of winging it. I've got plans. Sometimes the plans are ruined by Jay Gaffney. Sometimes there's technical difficulties, but the fact is we just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we dive in here. Message and data rates will apply, of course. So that's what I've been doing. I wanted to say there's one other thing, and what happens also is you come up with an idea, and a lot of writers will tell you this. You come up with ideas, and there's a creative spark, and then you talk to somebody else about it, and they kind of talk you out of it. And a lot of times that's because they're having their own issues, and those issues are coming to you through them. And why they're talking about, it's not that they have bad intentions. It's just that they have those things. Your voice is mad cute. Thanks, Young and Fabricated. So sometimes they're saying it just to protect you. Yes, like they have fear. And they're projecting that on you because they don't want to see you hurt. That's why a lot of times with our parents we have that difficulty, because they're trying to keep the larva alive and keep everybody happy. And so they're trying to protect you from possible pain. So they have totally good intentions. But a lot of times you have to kind of cut the apron strings and go, I'm going to do this anyway, because I got to fly, man. I got to fly. That's Matt Wright's line, keep the larva alive. So that's a lot of what this is. I challenge all of you to do the same. Where are you going with all this? I just want to laugh. Laugh away. Laugh away. How about this? There's some laughs. Well, I guess this is the way we lead to laughter, right? Not me. I'll be the first one to say, jump. Just go ahead and jump. I think it's true. Oh, yeah. Jay, didn't you notice? I left the comedy club. So I'm going to play something that kind of illustrates this point. And it is... recently, we all kind of joined a cult. Recently, we all kind of watched this historical musical. A lot of us watched it on July 4th on Disney Plus. And imagine, it's called Hamilton. Imagine when Lin-Manuel Miranda was writing this. If he talked to somebody else about it, they must have been like, what are you, nuts? We're going to do this rap about Hamilton? It just seems like crazy. But so there's this thing that happened at the White House where he kind of presented it to in this poetry slam many, many years ago. And it's out there. It's public domain. I'm going to play it on here because you'll see here's this guy with this crazy idea so much that people kind of chuckle in the audience. They don't even know if he's serious. And then we know, where it goes after that.
My God. I'm thrilled the White House called me tonight because I'm actually working on a hip-hop album. It's a concept album about the life of someone I think embodies hip-hop, Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton. You laugh, but it's true. He was born
This is
a
in
penniless orphan
2009.
in St. Croix of illegitimate birth. Became George Washington's right-hand man, became Treasury Secretary, caught beef with every other founding father, and all on the strength of his writing. I think he embodies the word's ability to make a difference. So I'm going to be doing the first song from that tonight. I'm accompanied by Tony and Grammy-winning music director Alex Lacamoire. Anything you need to know, I'll be playing Vice President Aaron Burr. And snap along if you like. How does a bastard orphan son of a whore and a Scotsman dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot in the Caribbean by providence, impoverished and squalor, grow up to be a hero and a scholar? The $10 founding father without a father got a lot farther by working a lot harder, by being a lot smarter, by being a self-starter. By 14 they had placed him in charge of the trade and charter, and every day while slaves were being slaughtered or carted away across the waves, our Hamilton kept his guard up. Inside he was longing for something to be a part of. The brother was ready to beg, steal, borrow, or barter. Then a hurricane came and devastation reigned, and our man saw his future dripping down the drain. Put a pencil to his temple, connected it to his brain, and he wrote his first refrain, a testament to his pain. Well, the word got around, they said this kid is insane, man. Took up a collection just to send him to the mainland. Get your education, don't forget from whence you came, and the world is gonna know your name. What's your name, man? Alexander Hamilton. His name is Alexander Hamilton, and there's a million things he hasn't done, but just you wait, just you wait. When he was 10, his father split, full of it, debt-ridden. 2 years later, see Alex and his mother bedridden, half dead, sitting in their own sick, the scent thick, and Alex got better, but his mother went quick. Moved in with a cousin, the cousin committed suicide, left him with nothing but ruined pride. Something new inside, a voice saying, Alex, you gotta fend for yourself. He started retreating and reading every treatise on the shelf. There would have been nothing left to do for someone less astute. He would have been dead and destitute without a cent of restitution. Started working, clerking for his late mother's landlord, trading sugar cane and rum and other things he can't afford, scamming for every book he can get his hands on, planning for the future. See him now as he stands on the bow of a ship headed for a new land. In New York you can be a new man. The ship is in the harbor now, see if you can spot him. Another immigrant coming up from the bottom. His enemies destroyed his rep, America forgot him. And me, I'm the damn fool that shot him. Alexander Hamilton, we were waiting in the weeds for you. You could never back down, you always had to speak your mind. But Alexander Hamilton, we could never take your deeds from you. In our cowardice and our shame, we will try to destroy your name. But the world will never be the same, Alexander. Yeah, I'm the damn genius that shot him.
I mean, come on now. Imagine if he would have not listened to that spark, like crazy thought that he had in his head. Or imagine if he would have gone around and shopped that to people and they would have just been like, no, I don't think so. That probably happened a lot. I don't know the story. There's Apparently there's a documentary film about it, but kind of blows me away. Blows me away to see people doing that. I'm over time now. I have some excerpts from this interview with Harlan Gleason that I wanted to show that I will save for later. I might just put that whole interview up for people to watch. And thank you very much for this is the end of 100th episode week. Now we can just move forward. Next week is amusement park week. And, you know, if you have any ideas for the shows, you want to send in amusement park stuff, I have some things. And as you know, I used to work in an amusement park. Some of you know. Some of you may not. So, it happens all the time. Imagine all the creative sparks that never ignited and what we missed. Jared Leto. That guy does not hold back. Thank you, Joe. Thanks, everybody who sent in videos this week. We're going to have our dance break. That kind of was a dance break. But let's get it going. I have a song that I really have always loved. It's a Dire Straits song, but this is a busker. James Marçal in Brazil. Yeah, and everybody have a happy weekend. Sue, you as well. Let's hear the inside amusement park scoop. Oh, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. Anyway, here we go. Here's James Marçal. Feel free to chat. Feel free to dance. I just think this is sort of an appropriate one. This guy sounds almost like an impersonator.
When the sun goes down,
hey, Rob Thal.
You're so far away from me.
Always great to see Rob Thal.
So far away from me. You're so far.
We're doing our dance break. We're gonna cut out here pretty soon. Head off to the weekend.
You're so far away from me.
Thanks for joining us on Lunch Therapy.